There is a silent mistake you repeat daily, a pattern so subtle that you don't even notice it. Yet it is pushing love further away. You don't need more effort, more searching, or more waiting. You need awareness. Because the moment you correct this one mistake, everything begins to shift. The energy changes, the opportunities appear, and suddenly, what felt impossible starts moving toward you. You have been taught to chase love, to look for it, to wait for someone to choose you. But deep inside, there is a hidden belief whispering, I am not ready yet. I am not enough yet. Maybe someday. And this belief is not harmless, it is powerful. It shapes your reality, it influences your actions, and it silently blocks what you desire the most. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you believe you deserve. And if there is even a small part of you that doubts your worth, that doubt becomes a wall between you and your future partner. The biggest mistake you are making is living as someone who is still waiting for love instead of someone who is already chosen. Your thoughts, your reactions, your emotions, they are all aligned with lack, not fulfillment. You think about marriage as something far away, something uncertain, something that depends on external conditions. But what if the delay is not about timing at all? What if it is about identity? Because the person who is still hoping for love behaves very differently from the person who knows love is already theirs. Every day, you unconsciously repeat the story of being incomplete. You compare yourself to others, you question why it hasn't happened yet, and you entertain thoughts of doubt and fear. And each of these thoughts becomes a command to your reality. You are not just thinking, you are creating. When you dwell in uncertainty, you create more uncertainty. When you focus on absence, you prolong absence. This is the mistake that keeps your desire out of reach, not because it's impossible, but because your inner world is not aligned with it. You don't need to change your circumstances, you need to change your state. Because your state of mind is the foundation of everything you experience. If you feel lonely, you will act from loneliness. If you feel chosen, you will naturally attract confirmation of that feeling. This is not about pretending, it's about embodying. It's about becoming the version of yourself who is already loved, already valued, already secure. And when you become that person internally, the external world has no choice but to reflect it. Stop asking, when will it happen? And start asking, who am I being right now? Because the answer to that question reveals everything. If you are being someone who doubts, fears, and waits, then you are reinforcing delay. But if you begin to think, feel, and act like someone who is already in a committed, loving relationship, you shift the entire dynamic. You move from chasing to attracting, from waiting to receiving, from uncertainty to inevitability. You must understand this. Deeply love is not something you earn by effort. It is something you align with by identity. The moment you stop seeing yourself as someone who is searching and start seeing yourself as someone who is already chosen, everything begins to rearrange. Your energy becomes calm, your presence becomes magnetic, and people start responding to you differently. Not because you changed something outside, but because you changed the story within. The mistake is also in your emotional habits. You allow temporary feelings to define your reality. One bad experience, one rejection, one delay, and you let it convince you that something is wrong. But every time you react this way, you strengthen the belief that love is difficult, unpredictable, or unavailable. Instead, you must discipline your emotions. You must choose to feel secure even when there is no visible evidence. Because your feelings are not reactions, they are signals that shape your future. You don't need validation from others to confirm your worth. The moment you depend on someone else to choose you, you give away your power. And this creates imbalance. True attraction begins when you no longer seek approval, but naturally expect it. When you carry yourself with quiet certainty, without desperation or fear, you become irresistible. Not because you are trying, but because you are aligned. And alignment is far more powerful than effort. There is also a hidden fear that keeps this mistake alive, the fear of truly having what you desire. Because with love comes vulnerability, responsibility, and change. And part of you may still be holding on to comfort, even if it's a lonely comfort. You must be honest with yourself. Are you truly ready? Or are you subconsciously delaying it? Because your inner resistance can be just as powerful as your desire. And until you release that resistance, the delay will continue. You must begin to live differently, not dramatically, but internally. Start thinking from the end, not toward it. Instead of imagining how it will happen, feel as if it has already happened. Carry yourself like someone who is loved. Speak to yourself with kindness. See yourself as worthy without conditions. These small shifts may seem insignificant, but they create a powerful ripple effect, because your inner world is the blueprint for your outer experience. The truth is simple, but not easy. You are the only one standing between you and your desired relationship. Not time, not circumstances, not other people. Just you. And the moment you take responsibility for your inner state, everything begins to change. You stop blaming, you stop waiting, and you start becoming. And becoming is the key. Because once you become the person who is already aligned with love, there is nothing left to chase. So stop the mistake. Stop living as if love is far away. Stop feeding the story of delay. Stop identifying with lack. And start embodying the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Because the shift doesn't happen outside, it happens within. And when it happens within, the outside has no choice but to follow. The love you seek is not missing, it is waiting for you to become the person who is ready to receive it. The delay you are experiencing is not controlled by the calendar, nor by some external destiny deciding your fate. It is being shaped by the version of yourself you embody every single day. When your identity is rooted in waiting, uncertainty, or incompleteness, your reality mirrors that identity back to you. You wake up, think, feel, and move like someone who is still trying to reach love, instead of someone who already belongs to it. And this subtle difference changes everything. Life does not respond to your wishes, it responds to who you are being. The more you identify as someone not there yet, the longer you remain there. This is not punishment, it is alignment. Your identity is the lens through which everything forms. And until you shift that lens, the same patterns will continue repeating. The delay is not outside, it is embedded in the way you see yourself. Once that changes, time itself seems to collapse. You have been conditioned to believe that love is something you must chase, earn, or prove yourself worthy of. But this belief quietly creates resistance, because the energy of chasing implies lack, and lack can never produce fulfillment. When you search for love as if it is missing, you reinforce the idea that it is not yours yet. Instead, attraction begins the moment you internally accept that you are already worthy of being chosen. Not someday, not after improvement, but right now. This belief creates a calm confidence, a quiet certainty that does not need validation. And from that place, everything changes. You no longer try to impress, you naturally express. You no longer seek attention, you receive it. Because people are drawn to the energy of someone who already knows their value. The shift is subtle, but powerful. And it begins the moment you stop seeking and start embodying. Every thought you entertain is either bringing your desire closer or pushing it further away. When your mind is filled with doubts, questions, and fears, you unknowingly create a reality that reflects those exact emotions. Thinking, why hasn't it happened yet? Plants seeds of delay. Feeling, maybe I'm not enough, strengthens separation. These thoughts may seem small, but they carry energy. And that energy shapes your experiences. You are constantly broadcasting a signal, and life responds accordingly. When your inner dialogue is rooted in lack, your outer world echoes that lack. But when you begin to shift your thinking towards certainty and fulfillment, something remarkable happens. Opportunities appear, connections form, and situations begin to align. Not because of luck, but because your internal state has changed. You are not just thinking, you are creating patterns that reality follows. There is a tendency to believe that more effort, more searching, or more trying will speed things up. But effort without alignment only creates frustration. You can take all the right actions, meet new people, and still feel stuck if your inner state is not aligned. Because what truly determines your experience is not what you do, but how you feel while doing it. Your state of mind is the foundation of everything. When you feel secure, loved, and whole within yourself, your actions become effortless and natural. There is no pressure, no desperation, no need to force outcomes. And this energy is magnetic. It draws people toward you without struggle. But when your actions come from fear or urgency, they carry tension, and that tension creates resistance. The real shift happens when you prioritize your internal state over external effort. Because once your state is aligned, everything else follows with ease. As long as you are waiting for someone else to choose you, you are placing your power in their hands. This creates a subtle imbalance where your happiness depends on external approval. And this dependency weakens your presence. But the moment you decide that you are already chosen, everything transforms. You no longer wait, you expect. You no longer doubt, you trust. This inner certainty changes the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you interact with others. People can feel this energy, even if they cannot explain it. It is the energy of someone who does not need validation because they already validate themselves. And this is deeply attractive. When you stop seeking permission to feel worthy, you naturally become someone others want to commit to. Because you are no longer trying to be chosen, you are embodying the fact that you already are. Your emotional reactions play a powerful role in shaping your reality. When you allow fear, rejection, or past experiences to control your feelings, you reinforce the very patterns you wish to escape. One negative moment can quickly spiral into a belief that something is wrong, or that love is not meant for you. But this reaction is what keeps the cycle alive. Instead, you must learn to stabilize your emotions, not by suppressing them, but by choosing a higher perspective. Understand that temporary setbacks do not define your future. They are simply reflections of past states that are fading away. When you refuse to give negative emotions power, they lose their influence. And when you consistently choose feelings of confidence and security, you begin to rewrite your story. Your emotions are not just responses, they are creative forces. And when you master them, you gain control over your direction. The final shift is the most important one. You must become the version of yourself who already lives the reality you desire, not in a distant future, but now. This means thinking from fulfillment instead of toward it. It means feeling complete without needing external proof. It means carrying yourself with the quiet assurance that what you want is already yours. This is not about pretending, it is about aligning. When your inner world matches the reality you desire, the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. This is how transformation happens, not through force, but through embodiment. And once you truly step into this version of yourself, the waiting ends, because you are no longer trying to get there, you are already there. And from that place, everything begins to unfold naturally, effortlessly, and right on time.